1.2 Evolution of Computer. From the simple calculator to a modern day powerful data processor, computing devices have evolved in a relatively short span of time. The evolution of computing devices is shown through a timeline in figure 1.4. This is the figure 1.4 showing the timeline showing key inventions in computing technology. See, around 500 BC there is an abacus, which is a computing device. Computing is attributed to the invention of abacus almost 3000 years ago. It was a mechanical device capable of doing simple arithmetic calculations only. That means abacus will do only arithmetic calculations. Around 1646, that is, there comes the Pascaline. Blaise Pascal invented a mechanical calculator known as Pascal calculator or Pascaline to do addition and subtraction of two numbers directly and multiplication and division through repeated addition and subtraction. Whereas around the 1834 there comes the analytic engine. Charles Babbage invented analytical machine, a mechanical computing device for inputting, processing, storing and displaying the output, which is considered to form the basis of modern computers. Which one? The analytic engine is considered as the basis of modern computers. In around 1890s, there comes a tabulating machine. Here, Hermann Hollerith designed a tabulating machine for summarizing the data stored on the punched card. It is considered to be the first step towards programming. Around 1937 there comes Turing machine. The Turing machine concept was a general purpose programmable machine that was capable of solving any problem by executing the program stored on the punched cards. Now there comes the around 1945 there comes EDVAC or ENIAC. John von Neumann introduced the concept of stored program computer, which was capable of storing the data as well as program in the memory. The EDVAC and then the ENIAC computers were developed based on this concept. In around 1947 there comes the transistor. Vacuum tubes were replaced by transistors developed at Bell Labs using semiconductor materials. As already mentioned, the integrated circuits use the semiconductor materials. Around 1970, there comes the integrated circuits, that is nothing but one or more microchips. An integrated circuit is a silicon chip which contains entire electronic circuit on a very small area. The size of computer drastically reduced because of ICs, that is integrated circuits. It has the silicon chip on which entire electronic circuit is placed. The von Neumann architecture is shown in the figure 1.5. This is the figure 1.5 showing the von Neumann architecture for computer. It is having the input from which the data or the instructions goes to the central processing unit, where the data is stored in the memory, and if needed it is retrieved from the memory, and from the CPU the data is processed and sent as output right to the output. It consists of a central processing unit CPU for processing the arithmetic and logical instructions, a memory to store the data and programs, input and output devices, and communication channels to send or receive the output data. Electronic numerical integrator and computer, that is ENIAC, is the first binary programmable computer based on von Neumann architecture. During the 1970s, large-scale integration, that is LSI, of electronic circuits allowed integration of complete CPU on a single chip called microprocessor. As already mentioned, CPU is also called as brain of the computer, or processor, or microprocessor. Moore's law predicted exponential growth in the number of transistors that could be assembled in a single microchip. In 1980s, the processing power of computers increased exponentially by integrating around 3 million components on a small sized chip, termed as very large scale integration, VLSI. Further advancement in technology has made it feasible to fabricate high density of transistors and other components. Approximately 106 components on a single integrated circuit called super large scale integration, that is SLSI, as shown in the figure 1.6. This is the figure 1.6. There is an exponential increase in number of transistors used in ICs over time. You can see on the y-axis there is representing number of transistors per integrated circuit, IC. On the x-axis during different years. See around. See around. This is by the Intel microprocessors. Data presented by the Intel microprocessors. Around 1940 and 1950s, there is a invention of transistors. Around, you can see there is a double. You can see here around 1970s, 4004 transistors. 4004 there are around 1000 transistors per IC. Here, how many produced? 4004. There is a double every year. See number increasing. 40042 to 8086. From there to 286. From there to 386. From there to 486. From there to 486. From there to Pentium, from there to Pentium 2, from there to Pentium 3, from there to Pentium 4, from there to Core 2 Duo, from there to Core i7. That is, at present we are going beyond Core i7. Around, see, around 1 billion transistors per IC is seen in 2010 year. It is a very huge number. IBM introduced its first personal computer, that is PC, for the home user in 1981, and Apple introduced Macintosh machines in 1984. The popularity of PC surged by the introduction of Graphical User Interface (GUI) based operating systems by Microsoft and others in place of computers with only command line interface like Unix or DOS. Around 1990s, the growth of World Wide Web, that is WWW, further accelerated mass usage of computers, and thereafter computers have become an indispensable part of everyday life. Further, with the introduction of laptops, personal computing was made portable to a great extent. This was followed by smartphones, tablets, and other personal digital assistants. These devices have leveraged the technological advancement in processor miniaturization, faster memory, high-speed data, and connectivity mechanisms. The next wave of computing devices includes the wearable gadgets such as smartwatch, lenses, headbands, headphones, etc. Further, smart appliances are becoming a part of the Internet of Things by leveraging the power of artificial intelligence.